Yep, people, it's happening. It's happening. I thought this only happened in the movies, man. Look at the shelf. This is in Welland. That's in the Niagara Falls region. Ah, all of the tissues are done. These are not bad. Hello, everybody. Welcome again to my channel. How is everybody doing under the lockdown? Some of you will be watching me right now from your home, and you can't do anything except stay inside. What a time, what a time. It is terrible, terrible what's happening in our world. I want to talk to us about this lockdown that is happening. So I've made a few jottings here to keep me on track. Um, our global economy has been brought literally to a standstill. Yeah? Shut down. Everything is on lockdown. There's hardly any business apart from some essential services like the banks, supermarkets, and places like that are open, but like restaurants and other non-essentials, or what they consider non-essentials, are all in lockdown everywhere. I am in the Niagara region in Canada, and there's hardly any cars on the road. Everything seems like it's a ghost town when you go some places, and it's just eerie. It's that eerie feeling you get, like the calm before the storm. That is how I describe it. And the worst part of it, the weather is not helping. The weather only comes to make it worse, because when you look outside, it's really gray skies that we're seeing. And we rarely see the sun during the winter, and we're going in spring, but we're still having that problem. So, according to them, there is this flu that is killing people by the thousands. And so this is the justification for bringing the globe to a virtual lockdown and standstill. And I'm wondering if it makes sense what they're doing. And I'm not saying I disagree or I agree. I'm just wondering if it makes sense, because you may be doing one good, but at the same time, the good that you're doing is also creating an harm at the same time. Because during the shutdown of everyone's life and the economy, what do you think will happen? People have their bills to pay. People have their bills to pay. Don't forget that. There is hardly anybody, nobody lives free in this life. Doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter where you go. Doesn't matter the country, doesn't matter the area, doesn't matter the government you're under. Everybody has to pay to live. So when our country is brought to a virtual standstill, the airports, the airlines shut down, I think of the restaurants in the airport. I think of those little stores in the airport. I think of the food in the airport. I think of people who work on the plane and have a mortgage and have kids to take care of. How are people going to weather this storm? Because it is terrible. I think in another couple of years, all the guys who are buying up these high, pumping up the stock market and make the billions and the millions and the billions, they have been planning for this, because they will now have the money to buy out the mom and the pop stores, and when it hit the real estate market, they will be in a position to buy out everybody, so this is how the transfer of wealth take place. This is how the rich get richer. And because a lot of people will not be able to weather this storm. A lot of restaurants that are was already struggling. A lot of people who were $400 away, they say in the US, from bankruptcy, and in Canada it's $200 or less away from bankruptcy. This will just be the nail in most people's coffin. And so I really wonder how some people are, well, it's just going to be a disaster for many people. If you don't have, if you didn't make preparation, and who could prepare for this? You know, no matter how you think you're a prepper and you are preparing, this thing has happened so fast. You know, wealth has been wiped out. I think about those people who are retiring and was depending on that nice portfolio. How are they going to manage when they look and see that 30% of their wealth have been wiped out and they were depending on that for their retirement? I mean, this is just a disaster. Let me see what else I have here. A lot of companies will go under, so it's only survival of the fittest. It's only the big companies like Amazon will even get bigger, and you know, all those companies that has a lot of money, a lot of cash, and can afford to weather storms like these will stay afloat. You know, millions of lives will be ruined, and I think suicide will skyrocket because I'm sure a lot of people will be committing suicide when they see how their lives are ruined. So it's not just I think that the shutdown will do a lot of harm than good. Maybe more harm than good. Maybe more harm than what the flu has cost. And the solution that they have come up with is to lend people who own business, small business, money. Give me a break. That doesn't make any sense. Lending people money in a time of desperation is only make them more desperate, because now they have fallen behind in their bills because of no income. Why is it that these people not learning? Debt doesn't solve our problem. Debt is one of our biggest problems. And when you put somebody who's already in debt into further debt, what do you think that they'll do? You just bring the person to a demise. So to say that they're going to offer credit and loan, that is just another recipe for disaster. Because the more you take out a loan on your business, it doesn't belong to you again, it belongs to somebody else. You're transferring your business to somebody else. You know, same thing with real estate. If you are already struggling to pay that mortgage, and all of a sudden, because of this thing, you can pay your mortgage, you're gonna lose that house, because no lender is gonna say, okay, I understand, it's because of the flu, everybody, we understand, we'll give you, even if they say they're gonna roll it back 3, 4, 6 months. Nope, deferred payment. Deferred doesn't mean you don't pay. Deferred just means you pay later, and you have to pay all of it. So it doesn't help. I don't think it helps. You know, that's my take on it. I notice I hear they talking about landlords. I'm sorry, renters. They're concerned about renters, and they're making laws that you can't evict people and blah blah blah. But no, I hardly hear they say anything about what about the person who is facilitating that tenant? What about the person who does that for a living, of renting their property and taking out a loan on a house and renting out that house just to stay afloat? And when you're saying that the person can't evict a tenant, and I'm not encouraging anybody to evict anyone, but what about the person who has that loan? Will the bank say, okay, you don't have to pay? I don't think that is going to happen. All I'm going to hear about maybe deferred payments, and it's a different thing when you go to the bank. They're going to tell you it's a case-by-case basis. It's not wholesale for everybody. and they're going to look into their situation, and they may just decide that no, they're not accepting you know. But I don't know. I don't hear anybody coming to the rescue of the landlords as usual, so a lot of them may just go under. Real estate is going to crash. I think it will crash because in a lockdown, nobody's buying, nobody's selling. People may want to sell, but nobody's buying. So that will bring down the price and all of that, which I think needs to go down, for those who want to get in the market. Those who are already in the market, it won't be good news, but those who want to get in the market will be good news, music to their ear, that price of real estate is crashing so that they now can get, they don't have to work a lifetime to get the down payment, But it is a disaster, man. It is just crazy. I want to know, where did this flu come from? And you all know what I'm talking about when I say the flu, because it seems as if it's only some people are entitled to use the name of this mysterious flu. What it is, the flu while we're shut down. And I am questioning that, because why is it that it's only some people? And then when you listen to them talk about it, it's all this panic and fear mongering that they're doing. When we know that people die on a regular basis, and I'm not taking for granted people who are dying of the thing. It's real. It seems real, but the whole point is, when people have the regular common cold, sometimes some people die of it, and they never bring the world to a shutdown because of that. So, where did this come from? I am suspicious, and here's why. There is no way you can tell me that somebody didn't plan this, and here's why. I have watched a movie by the name of Contagion. It's like I was just led by God to watch that movie. Contagion. I found it on Netflix. And this movie was saying there was a virus that developed in China, and people started getting sick, and the people start running to the supermarkets to get food. There was lockdown. One guy said he had a vaccine. They arrested him because they want the big guys to be the ones to produce the vaccine. And so they locked him up because he was advocating that he had the remedy. There's also in the movie a guy who, one of those big guys who know what was happening, he was overheard by one of those guy who was cleaning the office and dusting down and vacuuming and all of that. He heard the big guy on the phone talking to somebody to make sure that his family had the vaccine, and they also had their pod, they call it, where they are sheltered from whatever was happening. They're protected, and the family and so the guy said, "Oh, when he heard that is how you guys do it. I want my family to have that vaccine too. And by the way, I'm not promoting vaccine here, please. But I want to be immune from this thing that is killing everybody and turning them into whatever, zombies or whatever, and taking their life. I want mine too. And if you don't give me mine and my family, make us get the protection, then we're going to expose you." And it's also, at the end of the movie, you see a bat flying around. I think at the beginning of the movie, you saw somebody eating a bat. This is a 2011 movie, and we're now in 2020. So is that movie a prediction of what is happening now? Because that's how I see it. I don't know how many people have watched that movie, and y'all need to go and find that movie. It's called Contagion, Contagion. It is just depicting the exact thing. The run on the supermarkets, the empty shelves that we're seeing. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I can't believe it. It's the same identical thing that's happening right now. Everybody on lockdown, and places are turning ghost towns and so on. So I believe that this thing, something just seems fishy about it, suspicious, And we have been seeing a lot of movies that are geared towards survival. And that's what we're in right now, a survival mode. I mean, it hasn't reached the part yet where people are trying to steal and using gun to rob people of their goods and break into homes and all of that. But it's look like this is where this is going. So soon and very soon, if food is short, people are going to be coming to get what you have, and you have to protect yourself. Or if you don't have the means to protect yourself, then you're going to be in trouble. You know, so I don't know, man. This thing, I remember a movie by the name of The Hunger Games that kind of depicted what I'm talking about here. You know, the survival of the fittest. And finally, I'm going to say this, that agendas. People have their agenda. And sometimes to achieve an agenda, you have to create a situation. Problem, reaction, solution. The Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. So sometimes people create problem, so see people's reaction, and then they say, okay, here's a solution, right? So I am expecting a lot will come out of this. A lot of people's rights will be taken away from them. Already, it's happening slowly, you know. Your restriction of going out, because if this thing is not airborne, and once you know to keep your social distance, what's the point in telling people to stay inside? Is there some sinister thing happening while we're being told, stay inside, stay inside? Something just not right here. But I am looking keenly while this thing develops on the agenda that they're coming up with. When you lose, a lot of our rights, I'm sure, will be taken away from us. Okay? I wonder sometimes when I look at the stock market and see the crash the other day, and people were warning way, it's not now. I even read a book about 2-3 years ago of warning that the stock market and the economy will crash worse than 2007, 2008 and beyond and before. And people, when for instance 1929 the stock market crash wiped out people's wealth, people went to the literal stock market areas, and they were protesting and looting and shooting and burning and crying and weeping. Maybe it was made to coincide with this event so that they have a reason to keep us inside, so we don't meet and talk and protest. Watch it. I don't know, that just been something on my mind. If they are keeping us locked inside to prevent people from coming together, discussing, taking action, because there's one thing that they're afraid of, is when people come together and see what they're up to and they protest, they don't like that. So that's why maybe they have us in lockdown. I just think that. I don't know. Yeah, I basically have said most of what I need to say. But let us look at and see how this thing unfolds. But as I say, I am looking for the secret agendas now to roll out. And within the next couple of maybe days, weeks, months, we will see the real reason why we have been brought here. Why things are in lockdown, why and flu would bring such panic and let everything just shut down. I mean, billions, trillions of economic activity has been wiped out. People's lives have been ruined already, and it's only going to get worse. Anyway, I'm a Bible person. And I must say the scriptures has to also be fulfilled, and the Bible did predict that there will be distress of nations with perplexity. Talk about perplexity. Now people are so perplexed and in distress, and that is exactly what we are seeing. Jesus, before I go, did you know that in Matthew 24, one of the first, when the disciples came and asked Jesus to tell us what will be the sign of your coming and the end of the world. You know what Jesus said? The first thing he said, don't let anybody deceive you. This is not me speaking. This is not the church speaking. This is Jesus speaking. He saw that deception will abound. And he says, don't let people deceive you. So, a lot of deception is going on. A lot of lies. A lot of unnecessary and overreaction to situation in order to achieve a goal. But as I say, I'm going to leave it there. Think on these things. Tell me what you think. You can leave a comment. And if you like the video, you can also give me a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm. But I will leave it there for now. I just wanted you to chew on those thoughts. And I hope the best for you and yours. I still go out. I still go by I still just treat it like everything is normal, you know. I really just go about my life as this thing doesn't exist, in the sense that I'm not telling people to be callous, but I don't touch surfaces. I use a piece of paper or something to open a door, but I still go out. I still go to if it's a fast food that's open like Popeyes, I still go there. I still go get my morning coffee or something like that, you know, at Tim Hortons. But I don't like to live my life in fear, because it doesn't help. It only makes people worse. You become paranoid, and if you listen to the news, you become paranoid. So sometimes we have to tune things out. You know, just tune some things out, because if you follow these people, they'll drive you crazy when they tell you, oh, 70% is going to be affected, oh, millions will die. Well, we're not here forever. We all know that by now. It's only a fool who thinks he's here and he's a permanent fixture. No, we're not. We're temporary beings. And that's why we must make it right with God. We are temporary beings. Wake up and smell the roses if you all don't know that by now. We are temporary, mortal beings. Flesh and blood we're made out of. We deplete over the years. We get older and we eventually die. So, what's the big deal? The important thing is not death. The important thing is whether you die in Christ. And I'm in Christ. Hope you're in Christ. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.